Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Saturday. This is the second time we are streaming on a Saturday afternoon. Always a pleasure to have Alvin come all the way from Kajang. He sat in the train for 1 hour. 1 hour in the train to be here, to be at my gym. And then one of the next episodes, I'm going to head over to your place and we're going to stream over from Alvin's gym at Achieve Fitness in Kajang. But thank you for being here today. We're gonna discuss about strength training, resistance training, and lifting weights. So often do we both hear the fear from people that you don't want to lift weights because you're worried you're going to get bulky. So is there some truth to that? Today we're going to find out. We're going to discuss and talk about some of the benefits that we can get from strength training. And our goal is that I think at the end of today's show, if people are convinced that, okay, I'm going to start resistance training because I know it's good for me, then that's mission accomplished.
Right. So you are tuning in to our talk show, Two Guys and Their Gym. So this is almost a weekly talk show. The only thing difference is that Noel and I are in one place. So you can see us in one frame, both on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Now, if you're watching, our invitation to you is please share this on Facebook and LinkedIn, and on Instagram. If you feel that anyone can benefit on this, just tag them in the comment below so they get notified that this live is happening right now. So just like Noel mentioned, today is all about strength training. And you forgot to mention one key thing, Noel.
Yes.
We're going to share a little bit of, I think, our secret or our way of doing things, of how we kind of program strength training for our classes, for our clients. And perhaps these little nuggets or tips can help you to program your own training, whether is it for yourself or if you are a fitness professional, a personal trainer, group instructors, you can use this method training for your clients for effective and best results.
Great. And if you are tuning in right now, wherever you are from, we want to get to know you and where are you streaming in from. So comment below whether you're watching this on LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram. Comment below and tell us two things. Number one is, where are you streaming in from? Comment your city below and answer today's question. Today's question is, if you could build anything with your hands, with a computer, I don't know, you could build anything, what would you build? What would you build if you had no limitations on resources, all the wood you want, all the money you want? I don't know, it really depends what you're building, right? No limitation. What would you build? Alvin, what would you build?
I think I'll build a really big castle.
A castle?
That is just everything inside. I can stay in there. It has gyms. You all can come over. There's definitely a recording studio for us. Definitely there's guest bedroom. I think I can do a lot of things.
It's just a really big house, not a castle. People don't stay in the castle anymore. People don't stay in castle anymore.
So let me rephrase that, a house in TTDI.
Okay, so great. So Alvin wants to build a house. If you're just streaming in, the question for today is, where are you streaming in from? Comment below, we want to know. And if you could build anything, what would you build? So Alvin just said he wants to build a castle. You're going to live in the castle?
Yeah.
Okay.
And how about you?
I think I want to build a tree house. Kind of simple, right? Yeah, tree house. That's in... First of all, I need a tree in my house. I don't have a tree, but I would love to have a really big tree and a tree house, with steps and you can go in and like a secret hideout. You close the door. Of course, my tree house would be a bit more fancy. I have a TV inside with internet and a fridge. Maybe a barbecue. No, a barbecue and a tree house, not a good idea. But yeah, so that's what I would build if it was me. And if you're watching this, we're just starting our show and just having a bit of chit chat and wanting to get to know you. Okay, so comment below, where are you streaming in from, and let us know, if you could build anything, what would you build? All right.
I'd like the treehouse idea. I think, one day, if that happens, we're going to do our live over there.
You'll do a live over there, and I think it's better than not better than the castle. Okay, we'll build a treehouse in your castle.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. So once again, thank you for tuning in. We are on a Saturday, slightly different from our Monday show, and we see that we have different audience. So if you are tuning in, this is our episode 68. That's right, we've been here for more than a year. It used to be our Monday night, and we decided to do it on a Saturday to see how things go. So if you're watching, this is our second Saturday together.
Yeah.
Do comment, share with us what you think of the time change. And if you're watching this pre-recording, let us know that, no, we miss your Monday show. You want us back on Monday. We want to know what you have to say.
Yeah, and we're meeting a lot of new friends when we stream in the afternoons because it's a different time slot, right? So if you're new, if you're here for the first time, again, just give us a wave or comment. And it doesn't mean whether you're watching this live or not. If you watched this 3 months down the road also, and if you're new, just comment below, and we want to get to know who you are. So going on to today's topic, today we're talking about strength training. We're talking about lifting heavy stuff in the gym.
Right.
Which for a lot of guys, we really don't mind. But for a lot of, I would say mostly women, not all women, but a lot of women that come to me, at least I speak for myself first. Alvin may have a very different group that comes to him. But most of the people who come to me at my gym or people who want to work online have this fear of lifting something heavy. The fear is that they're going to become bulky. Bulky means they're going to gain weight, or they're worried they're going to build too much muscle, and that is a fear. And today we're going to talk a little bit about why we need not fear gaining strength and gaining muscle. And we're also going to talk about some of the benefits that you're missing out when you avoid resistance training from your program, and why it's super important, and why all of the clients who come to Daily Muscle, for sure, whether your goal is to gain weight or your goal is to lose body fat, we actually put you on a resistance training program. So we're going to talk a little bit more about why. What about you, Alvin? Do you get what do people come to you and they're afraid of lifting weights?
All the time. Okay. I think that's why they feel like, I don't want to go to gym. I think it's safer to go see a trainer. But then they're like, why is this trainer giving me the same thing? So a lot of people mistaken that lifting weights will make them big, like what you say, bulky. Or especially female clients that come to me and say, Alvin, I don't want to look like that person, look like the model, looks like the guy in the magazines. They feel that just lifting a bit would transform them into someone else the next day. One thing I like to say, don't worry, you look the same the next morning in the mirror, just as you were the last night.
Yeah, and just checking, in your many years of being a trainer, have you ever had someone come and lift weights and grow too big or gain too much weight and then they were upset?
No. Never.
Never, ever, right? Never. I would say never, ever also. Thousands of people, like if you combine both of us, like a few multiple thousands people come and work with us, and they've all had that fear, and they've trusted the journey and picked up the weights and lifted it and become very strong, and not a single person has gained too much weight. So we can start off today's conversation by that. It's like, you have nothing to worry. You have nothing to worry. But will you gain weight or not? Let's talk a little bit more about that.
I think before we answer that, which we are going to straight away tell you yes or no, I think let's talk a little about what is resistance training. Now, how is it different from strength training? Resistance training is any sort of training that you use a resistance. So resistance can be a dumbbell, a barbell, a machines, a resistance bands, or all kinds of functional tools, kettlebells. All these are resistance. So if you are using any form of resistance, that is resistance training. And if you are lifting for a specific repetitions, if you are looking at compound exercises, then it is overall a strength training. So resistance training is strength training, and they are the same thing. So we're talking about resistance training, strength training, lifting weights. It is in the same category. So just like if you were lifting a dumbbell and you are doing a resistance band at home for like a glute kickback, it's the same thing, but we had the idea that resistance band perhaps is not as hardcore or it's not going to make you bulky, whereas a dumbbell will be. That is incorrect. That is incorrect.
I think a lot of people also have this fear. Again, it's just based on what people tell me. Because they've heard somewhere, from somehow, word of mouth, that if you want to burn fat, you need to lift lighter weights and go for many, many, many repetitions. That's the word on the street,
right?
Right? And then if you want to build muscle, you got to lift heavy. Is that true or not, Alvin?
That is incorrect. I think that happens because like 30, 40 years ago, the only source of information you have is like from bodybuilding magazines and websites, and you see bodybuilder lift heavier weights, they are big, they drink the protein supplements, so we immediately say, aha, lift heavy to become big. And then they see female who is lifting lighter and therefore they can go more repetition. Lift light to become toned. That is incorrect. What would make you build muscles, improve strength is basically progressive overload. Whether is it you're lifting more reps or higher, heavier weights, you are going to become stronger and fitter.
Correct. And before we go to the benefits also, like, so I hope you all are starting to see now, like, okay, it's actually, I should be lifting heavy weights, but we haven't actually answered the question. So will you gain weight or not? Jang, jang, jang. What do you
The
think?
answer is, you want to let them comment?
Yeah, could you comment below? Answer the question. Would lifting heavy weights cause you to gain weight? Let us know what you think.
And if you are watching this on Facebook and LinkedIn, we invite you to click on the share button so that you can reach out to more people. And today's topic, does resistance training makes you gain weight? We invite you to post any questions you have on resistance training or anything that is fitness related in terms of nutrition, lifestyle. Comment your question below, and Noel and I is going to answer any questions that you posted. If you're on Instagram, how can they comment their questions? The best way to post around.
So if you're on Instagram, the best thing to do is to ask a question, is to click on the little question mark that you see down there, the question like in the speech bubble. Click on that question mark and ask your question, and then your question stays there, and we can feature your question. Your identity remains private. Nobody will know it's your question. We're going to feature the question, and we get to answer it, so we all learn from your question. So that's group learning. So ask your question, and we will get to your question shortly.
And before I answer that, I noticed there's a lot of new audience today. Noel and I are multi-streaming on various platforms. So on Instagram, if you see Noel and I are looking down, that is because we are on Facebook and LinkedIn. And hi guys and girls, if you are looking up, that is because we are also streaming on Instagram on 3 different devices. How we do it, perhaps behind the scene one of the days.
Maybe one day, or maybe I should actually just move the camera behind the other camera. That's okay, we'll do that another day.
We'll try that another day. So coming back to the question, will lifting weights make you gain weight? My answer, first I will share my answer first. My answer is yes, you will gain weight. That weight would most likely be muscle weight. So I will sum it up that our body weight consists of fat, muscles, and water. So when you start lifting weights, you're going to realize that, hey, I am gaining weight, but perhaps my waist maintains the same. The pictures, I perhaps look smaller, but my weight is increasing. So that is a sign that you probably gain some muscles. And how to know, one way to know is looking back at your training program. If you started a group training, a personal training, you perhaps only be able to do 1 push-up, and over the weeks, you notice that you're getting stronger, you lift heavier weights. Those are clear indication that you probably gain some muscles. And muscles do have weight, and that's why your body weight increase.
People freak out because they step on the scale and you see the scale go up, and that causes fear for a lot of people, especially ladies, because like they come to the gym to bring down the number on the scale. Actually, bringing down the number on the scale is a very different goal from losing fat.
Right.
You can lose fat and not bring down the number on the scale. So I think it's important, like we educate our clients and tell them the importance in tracking progress and measurements, so you see that your body fat is coming down, but we don't guarantee that the number on the scale is going to go down immediately. So from our experience, and especially when we do our 6-week challenge program, which is really a fat loss kickstart program. It's not a shortcut, it's a fat loss kickstart program. We actually tell all our participants upfront in the beginning that it is completely normal, especially in the first couple of weeks, especially if you're new to training, that the weight on the scale goes up. And we tell them upfront, like, do not panic when this happens. Actually, it's anyone who's new to training and they start eating better and you're drinking more water and you're eating more carbs after your workouts, you're refueling, your body is adapting, your body is storing more fuel to help support you through those workouts. So it's completely normal that initially your weight's going to go up a little bit. Some of us, maybe even our pants comes a little bit tighter. But here's the thing. Overall, keep doing what you're doing as long as you're in a caloric deficit. If fat loss is your goal, your body fat will come down. Your body fat will come down. You may gain a bit of muscle along the process, and that's never a bad thing. You're getting stronger. But overall, even looking beyond 6 weeks, let's look at 3 months. What happens in 6 months is that as your body fat comes down, your weight will come down. It's just that it's not as predictable as we like it to be.
Right.
So the better way of measuring progress really is to not only look at the weighing scale, because that goes all over the place, sometimes depending on what you eat. Is really to take measurements. You either take circumference measurements, or you do a body fat measurement. What do we call it?
Like those body fat analysis in body
Correct,
scales.
like an in-body or a Tanita machine, which gives you a bit more. None of these are 100% accurate, but it gives you an idea. It's like, hey, the fat's going down, but the muscle is going
Or like
down.
where you start off with your starting point.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you see that the fat's coming down, but then, hey, you weigh yourself in the house, but the scale isn't moving. Okay, so to summarize the answers that we just gave you is that yes, it's very likely that your weight can go up, but it's not the bad weight. It's you are seeing progress. Body fat's going to come down. Your fat loss is your goal, but you're building muscle. Instead, it's much better to focus on the benefits that resistance training is going to give us. I think when we focus on the benefits instead of the one thing, it's going to gain a bit of weight and then we end up not doing it at all and completely missing out on the benefits. When you focus on the benefits, which we will discuss about shortly, and you realize that how awesome resistance training is and all the good things it's going to bring into your life, and that should get you excited to go to the gym and to lift heavy. Or if you're only like going out and jogging and running, it should make you, we hope that this makes you go pick up some weights and start some sort of a resistance training program. So moving on to the benefits.
Right. I love that, Noah. I love that how you have summarized everything. And when we studied for ACE, when we go through NASM, and one of the chapters definitely introduction to resistance training, strength training. And you see that there's tons of benefits, but most of the time, like we go to social media, the products, programs are selling focus solely on weight loss, and we look at like the things that we study in textbook research studies all from overseas. Fat loss is like the least important. Some of textbooks don't even mention the fat loss, also the benefit of resistance training. So first on our list would be looking at it is improved body composition. So body composition is meaning that when you start lifting weight, you experience a reduction in body fat and an increase in muscle mass. So that explains why when you lift weight, your weight remains unchanged, or perhaps some of you may even gain weight because the weight that you gain is not fat, don't worry, it's muscle mass. And just like Noel shared just now that through progress pictures, through looking in the mirror, seeing how your clothes feel, or even sometimes touching yourself, you can feel like, oh, it's a little bit firmer already. Then you know you probably gained some muscles. With all of these, your weight may increase.
And that's a benefit because, yes, weight is going up. It is the benefit because you're improving your body composition. So you're building more of what your body wants, which is fat. You need fat too. Building more muscle and reducing your fat. So that's improved body composition.
Right. And I want to share this, like, this is very common because like I do one-to-one training, and when we really focus on clients and get them started on a resistance training program, strength training program, I would say if a client is very consistent, this is very, very likely because we monitor in terms of their measurements, progress pictures, the weight lifted, their strength throughout their workout. Within few weeks, things start shooting up. Yes, weight might go up too because they start eating a little bit healthy. Their body starts absorbing the nutrients, higher water intake, their menses starts getting back, all this starts functioning well. So your weight, most likely, very likely to increase as well with all the other benefit to it.
Great. Another benefit also is that, you see, whenever people go to the gym or you're running on the treadmill, and if fat loss is your goal, and you're fearing that you're going to gain weight, the purpose of why we get into some kind of a diet or why we are exercising is because we want to create a caloric deficit, right? So we want to burn calories. We forget that actually lifting heavy weights also burns calories. You need a lot of energy, and actually it needs a lot of energy to lift the heavy stuff. That's why when you need to come for my classes, at least I'm always reminding our members, pick up the heavier weight. If the repetition says 8 to 12, try and find something that you're really struggling with in 8 to 12 instead of lifting something lighter. Why? Because if you're really struggling and tiring out, that's a lot of energy being used right there. And research has also shown that when you resistance train and you have a good challenging workout, your body continues to burn a little bit more calories than usual up to 72 hours after training.
3
Why?
days.
Because you train hard, now your body's recovering, and you don't get that if all you did was just going for a 30-minute walk.
Right.
And we have this assumption that it's only the running on the treadmill that burns calories. You know why? Because there's a meter there
Fat burning zone.
that shows you how many calories did I burn. So we feel that, oh, I need to get on the machine in order to burn calories.
Right.
But we forget that resistance training also burns calories and it gets you stronger and improves body composition. So that means, Elvin, if I had only 3 hours in my week, and my goal is fat loss, I want to lose weight. Okay? Typical client, I come to you, I want to lose weight, I only have 3 hours. Are you going to make them do lots of running and jogging, or are you going to make them lift heavy stuff at the gym?
Definitely going to make them lift heavy stuff. So one thing, like if you come to my studio in Kajang, there isn't a working treadmill. Like client don't pay me to put them on a treadmill. And I can understand it's also a common practice. Like you see in certain gyms, they put the clients on the treadmill like 20 minutes before workout as a warm-up. Nothing is wrong, may not be the most effective things to do. But coming back to Noel, when Noel mentioned about increased calorie expenditure past 72 hours, what Noel's also saying is that it boosts your metabolism. Like strength training is going to boost your metabolism more than a steady state cardio. Like he mentioned that the calories, our body continue to burn extra. That is why if you wear like a heart rate monitor or a step tracker during your workout, you realize that a strength class, I don't burn as much as a cardio. But what you also need to realize is that after a strength class, your heart rate stays slightly elevated. Yeah, because there's a lot of things happening inside. And because that heart rate is slightly elevated, your body constantly burning afterward, right up to 72 hours.
Yeah, and if you're just tuning in, whether you're watching us on LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram, thank you for being here. This is our weekly show. We talk about anything and everything: fitness, nutrition, lifestyle, getting 1% better every day. And today we're talking about resistance training. There's this fear around resistance training that it's going to cause us to gain weight. So today we're talking a little bit deeper into that. If you have any questions about our topic today, please comment below. If you're on Instagram, you're going to click on that little question mark that you see right there at the bottom and ask your question. If you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, just comment in the section below. I had someone say something just now on Instagram. It's from Emotion Fitness. He says that it depends on what else are they doing with the program, but overall they should lose. Correct. So the question is, if you're resistance training, will you lose weight? So yes, eventually you're going to lose body fat as long as you're sticking.
If that is your goal, if
that is
weight
your goal,
is fat loss is your goal, right?
Because there are people who also want to do resistance training because the doctor said they're underweight. You need to put on some weight, girl. So that's also resistance training, but totally changing the way that you eat as well.
I think put on some healthy weights, because a lot of us, when they think of like when doctor asks me to put on weight, immediately they just start ramping up their calories and they eat and eat. So you put on weight, but you put on weight and you gain fat from that weight. But if you start resistance training and eat a little bit better, you put on weight, you put on muscle mass. So both person can be 60 kilos, looks completely different in 60 kilo person A, 60 kilo person B with just resistance training. So that's what we are talking all about. And if you are tuning in on Facebook and LinkedIn, that is where our mainstream is. All the links to resources and articles that Noel and I mentioned today will be on our mainstream. So if you're tuning in on Instagram, I invite you to hop over to Facebook later, where everything we mentioned, which is based on research study, not from uncertified website, from Google, okay, based on research study, we're going to put it there so you can have more resources to look through.
Yeah. What's another benefit, Alvin, of lifting heavy stuff resistance training. Why else should we start a resistance training program at the gym or wherever?
Okay, most of my clients come to me right now. They said, Alvin, I want to start lifting weights because I have certain health conditions. So maybe like the doctor have recommended to ask them to start living healthy, to do some sort of movement, so they come find to me. And the most immediate benefit that they can do is actually feel good. So the third benefit, Noel, to answer you more specifically, is improve health outcome. Like someone with diabetes, someone with high cholesterol, hypertension. When you start exercising, when you start include resistance training into a program, there's a lot of changes happening inside your body. Of course, during and after, and if you do that for a period of time, all these health markers will improve. So this goes beyond just losing fat, looking good, and adding some lean muscle. So if you have any existing like cardiovascular disease, including some sort of resistance training, and we mentioned just now about what are resistance training. It's not just dumbbells, it's also your bands, your kettlebells, your barbells, your machines, body weights are also resistance training. All are going to improve your health outcome.
Great. So again, we are addressing the fear of gaining weight and telling you why you should resistance train. So we talked about what did we talk about so far? We talked about increasing our caloric expenditure, right? So strength training, resistance training, you're still going to burn calories and get you closer to your goals, if weight loss or fat loss is your goal. Alvin also talked about improved body composition. It's another benefit. And improved body composition is often losing fat.
Right.
So, and that's what most of you are coming to many gyms for, and say, when you say you want to lose weight, you're actually meaning you want to improve body composition. The best way to do it is you need resistance training in your program. And the last thing Alvin just mentioned was that another benefit is that we're going to improve our health, all our health markers. And speaking about diabetes, you said just now, like just this morning, we had someone come in. She shared this story with me where she's already lost 10 kgs of weight. She said weight because that's what she lost. And now she's finding that it's not progressing anymore. She's stuck at that first 10 kgs. And now she wants to join the gym. So it's great that she lost those 10 kgs, but I feel that she would have seen a lot more progress, huge improvement in her health markers as well, if she had in the very beginning, instead of just cutting out her food, also included a resistance training program. But it's never too late. So the happy ending is that she's joining our classes today. So it's never too late to start. But if you are out there now saying that, hey, I'm going to start some sort of a diet, I'm going to start eating better, and you're going for your walks, can I tell you that the one thing super important that we often miss out because we are afraid we're going to gain weight is resistance training. Okay?
Right.
Maybe what we can leave our guests with also in the comments later on or tomorrow is some examples of some resistance training program that you can do at home without having to go out to a gym. Because it's actually super easy to get started with a resistance training program. You don't need to join a fancy gym to get started.
Yeah, that's right.
Great. Yeah. Next outcome, next benefit, next reason why we should be training and lifting heavy stuff is we want to get stronger. As we get older, we're all getting there, right?
I'm feeling it.
Feeling it. But that's true. So you're feeling it, right? So as you get older, your strength naturally declines, right? And if you are someone who doesn't do any resistance training, your strength is going to decline a lot faster than someone who trains. So why is strength important? Strength is important. It's going to help you with everything that you do. You're going to have a much better quality of life, being able to carry things around when you are in your 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s and still walking tall and still having the strength to walk properly,
play with your grandchildren,
to play with your grandchildren. It comes not from jogging a lot, although jogging is going to help, but it comes by resistance training, because your body actually starts to waste away the muscle when you, what is that age? Is that like a fixed age, like when you're in your 40s? Is it in the 40s? Or it differs for everybody?
I think when we look through like our age and NASM, they classify like active aging at age 50 and above, active aging population.
So when you reach a certain age, you're gonna start to feel as if everything's going downhill. But a lot of those things can be reversed, can be slowed down
Yeah.
by having a strength training program. Why does your body naturally want to get weaker as you grow older? Because we're not using it. You're not using it.
Catabolism, we are constantly
Correct.
breaking down and slow, correct? So if I think, Noel, correct me if I'm wrong, you are trying to say that if we were to lift weights, there's a reason for our body to preserve the muscles, to maintain the integrity of our joints, ligaments, bone structure, keep it there, because we are constantly being challenged. Therefore your body will like, hey, I need to be stronger for my next workout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or be stronger for the rest of my life. Like,
Right.
see, if you're 50 and 60 and you've been resistance training because you're not afraid of gaining weight, if you've been resistance training, you can be more independent. Maybe you don't need a walker when you're 60 years old. You don't need that at all. And you can carry your own things. You can do your own grocery shopping. You don't need someone to lift the bags for you. Little things like that. You can also reduce your chances of falling. Falling is the big thing as you grow older. Why? Because your chances of falling and breaking something is much higher as we grow older. Sumita says, forever 21. Yeah, that's another way to put it. We strength train, we resistance train, we eat well, we get enough sleep, we drink enough water, we do everything. But for a lot of people, the resistance training is missing. Correct. Because we are afraid to lift the weight. So that's the purpose of today's show. If anything, we want to inspire you that, hey, it makes a lot of sense actually, going to do you lots of good to pick up some weights and to start something.
I just want to share a fun fact. Since just now we talk about, a lot of us have the assumption that lifting light weight is for toning up the body and females should do that, and lifting heavy is like building bigger muscles. Do you know that for active aging, so we're looking like people 50 and above, so we're looking at perhaps some of you who are tuning in, or perhaps your parents, the rep range appropriate for older population, active aging population, to prevent osteoporosis is 1 to 8 reps. So if you think like, asking your mom to lift lighter weight, it's not really the most effective thing to do. Assuming that your mom is familiar with the movements like a chair squat, have her to load her in the chair squat 1 to 8 reps, where you want to challenge the body, like Noel mentioned just now, so that the body can become stronger. And 1 to 8 reps is the recommended rep range to prevent osteoporosis.
That's actually pretty heavy.
That is heavy.
Most people don't do it. I think when you get a certain age, it's not so much about, I don't think someone in their 60s is going to be worried about gaining weight. I think there's also still this fear of starting something. Right. So if that's you and you're like super new, totally afraid of handling weights, we're not saying you have to go and lift the heaviest thing. It's okay to get help. Okay, get help means I don't mean go and Google something, although it's not wrong. You can learn a lot if you go to the right sources, but it's completely okay to go find a friend who looks a lot more experienced than you and knows what they're doing. Find a trainer, or if you're working out at the gym, it's totally okay to go look for an experienced trainer, ask them if they can help give you some pointers to get started. At least you get the ball rolling, or you send us a message and ask for some guidance, and we'll point you to the right direction to start. And don't be afraid and let this opportunity go by. If you're in your 20s or 30s right now, or whatever age you're watching, it's never too late to start. But to be honest, I see a lot of people also, true story, who start very late. Again, I'm happy they started, start training when they are 48, 55. Not a bad thing. Some people start because their friends start dying. I had one client recently, like, my friends are dying, she told me. True. It motivated the heck out of her to start something. Now she's training 3 times per week and lifting heavy stuff. It's just so good to see how she's doing. But if you are young at a younger age now and you have the opportunity to do it now. It's a lot easier when you're in your younger age. It doesn't mean that when you're in your 50s it's going to be impossible, but it is harder when you have all these aches and pains and all kinds of other things and so much going on in your life. It's harder to make progress. So if you're watching this right now, take action now, do something, get to the gym, get to somewhere, start training. Yeah, I'll leave you with that.
I know it reminds me of the quote I like to remind my client: the best time to do anything is now.
Yeah, it's now. Well, actually, the best time would be like yesterday, but then yesterday's gone, right? So when is the next best time? It's now. We had a question coming here on Instagram. Alvin's going to take a peek on Facebook and LinkedIn and see what it is. This question comes from Pixie. Pixie Hick. Pixie is asking, why do I feel bulky when I do resistance workout? Is it because of my diet? I'll answer this first, and then Alvin, you give me your thoughts as well. So the keyword is there, Pixie. You're saying you feel bulky. So that happens when you lift weights. Your muscles tend to kind of, I don't want to say stiffen up, but you're engaging more of your muscles, especially if you're new to a resistance program, and it can feel like you are a little bigger. In fact, you may even feel that your clothes are a little tighter. And as I mentioned earlier, in fact, you may even see that the weighing scale has gone up a little bit. Completely normal if you just started a resistance training program. The key here is to keep going. To keep going, not let that deter you. Your body has some adaptations it's making because you're starting a resistance training program. It's storing more fuel, more glycogen in the muscles. It knows that you're working out. It knows you're lifting heavy. It's adapting so that you can train and you can get those workouts done. And one of the byproducts of that process is your weight tends to go up a little bit. But believe me when I say that the weight's not going to keep going up. Well, if it does, then you got to look closer into your food. What you eat also matters. But Pixie, it sounds like what you're going through right now. It's just like a teething phase, like a
Side
initial
effect of
the initial starting part where everything feels a little uncomfortable. So keep going, but continue to ask for help if you feel that something needs to be improved. There's only so much I can give you advice here. I don't know what your training is like, how heavy you're lifting, and what you're eating. We can have a closer look at that and then give you a better answer. But my gut instinct tells me that it's really just a feeling. A lot of people feel this way and they give up because they feel like they're doing the wrong thing. So our message to you and everyone today is to not give up, to keep lifting heavy because you're going to make progress.
All right. I guess that as long as you're monitoring, measuring your progress, then you know that you are heading towards the right direction in terms of like performance in the gym. You are getting stronger, you're lifting heavier weights or more repetitions, or your movement gets smoother and better. So that's a progression. And in terms of your physical body composition is how you look in terms of pictures, your body measurements. So if your goal, Pixie, is fat loss, you want to measure your waist and hips and take pictures. Like in terms of fat loss, any reduction in waist indicates that you are ahead of your goal, that you are losing fat. So regardless of what you feel on the outside, as long all these measurements you are monitoring well enough will tell you that you are heading. Because when it comes to female, one thing I like to remind my clients is that there's a lot of things, there's more things happening for females inside than for guys. You know, when it's near to your menses, you're going to feel a little bit bloated. So you might feel like, oh, am I gaining weight? But it's just you going through cycles. Yeah, perhaps lack of sleep, food not so well. So many factors. Key thing is monitoring your progress, your pictures, your weights. Those will tell you that you are heading in the right direction. So that's something that you want to do and maintain regardless of your fitness goal. And that's what we do for our clients.
Yeah, it's just checking in with them, tweaking things along the way, because our clients too, they have this same concern. I'm gaining weight, am I okay? But with a coach to help them, we can guide them in the right direction. So that's the value of having a coach or hiring a trainer. And then people come to us and they're like, I can just YouTube my workout, sure. But then if you YouTube your workouts and you do something, YouTube isn't going to tell you if you're doing it right or not. And YouTube isn't going to give you the support and the assurance that you're not gaining weight, you're gaining muscle. So there is value in working with a coach. Let's talk a little bit about how do we design a strength training program or resistance training program. How do you do it? What is your outline? I mean, you don't have to design a workout for us now, but what is your thinking process when someone comes to you and, okay, I want to start something? How do you go?
I think the first thing I would do is we take a look at their goals. So if your goal is to someone like build some muscles, lose some fat, start like some healthy habits. So I would incorporate mainly strength training into your program. Of course, guide you through the movements, have you lift some weight, have you to practice those movements at home. So I'll focus more on full body, never body parts. It's very common. It's like, okay, today's a chest day, back day. I get that a lot. Alvin, I want a leg day. I want an arm day. It's like not going to happen with me. We done our studies, ACE, NASM, we talk about total body, compound movements, different joints, different angles, multi-plates movements. Yep, we're going to put some of them in the comment section where you can have a pick of the training program, but you want to include, or I will include those in a client's program in the beginning to get them moving more. And it's never, I'm going to use the word never, a body part workout.
So there's no booty day?
Oh, there's no booty day, sorry. Not with Alvin, not in Kajang. Not in Kajang, because we are not bodybuilders. And I remind clients also, when they think of gyms and lifting weights, immediately we associate with bodybuilding, back day, arm days. And I can understand, like, that's how we begin our thought of going to the gym. And a lot of trainers also started off with knowing about lifting weights for bodybuilding purposes. And I myself, when I was like 18, 19, I wanted to lift weight to look like a bodybuilder, only realized that that's just a small part of health and fitness, and this is just one way of looking at it. So when my client comes to me, I educate them more in terms of health, fitness, overall lifestyle, and strength training. You want to look at whole body. Humans are meant for movements, and therefore we want to educate our classes and clients to move better. Because when gym is like how long of the day? 1 hour of a day, you work out 3 times, 3 hours a week. You spend most of your time outside. So we want to make you champions, heroes, achievers for life, not just in the gym.
Yeah, I love how you put that. And so you say that it's about movement, right? Versus individual body parts. And that's how we would also address how we do training here at Daily Muscle, whether it's with one-on-one clients or in a group setting. It's really training movement. So instead of looking at body parts, today we do this part, that part. No, today we look at how we're going to move so that we hit these muscles. So there are lunges, there are bear crawls, there are combinations of a shoulder press and rotation while you do the press, because that's real life. Yeah. That's how you go out. You open the door. What are you doing? You turn the doorknob and you pull, right? Yeah. So how do you train that? So think about that when you train body parts. So coming back again.
Can we talk about that? I like that. When you just giving an example, there are total of 6 fundamental human movements. And in all my training programs, we have to train these 6. So what Noel shared just now, like pulling the door, is actually you put in all 6. So number 1, there is the squat, there is a lunges, there's a hip hinge, there's a pull, there's a push, and there's something that is carried, like a farmer's walk. That is for core. So these 6, in your training program, you want to include, make sure that your exercises, your movements surround these 6 fundamental human movements. That is a complete training program. So if we put like a total body workout, since someone is asking about total body workout, like you want to start with a warm-up, a dynamic warm-up, and then you could perhaps do like a giant set. You can start with a bodyweight squat. You can do some floor bridges for hip hinge or deadlift. You can do some stationary lunges, and then you can proceed to your upper body movements like push. What is one push exercise, Noel?
What do you want to push? Okay. We could do a overhead press, pressing the weight over the head.
That's a push. Or if you press it in front of your body, that's like a dumbbell chest press, bench press, or even a push-up. So that's a push. How about pull, Noel?
We could do a row, a seated row with a cable or row.
With the dumbbells.
What else?
We can do leg pull downs, anything that we pull. So any movements that you pull, it is. And it's our topic today is resistance training. So it doesn't matter what form of resistance, you include the movement in. If you're using a resistant band, you do a band row. If you're using a dumbbell, that's a dumbbell row. If you're using machine, that's a machine row. Yeah. But the movements remains the same. And the last one is a core. A core is like a carry. If you carry something and walk like a farmer's walk, then that's going to activate your core. If you don't feel like carrying, perhaps a plank, a dead bug, a bear crawl. Those are all core movements. So that's
Yeah.
the 6 fundamental movements. And Noel and I is going to include Ace and Nazem. They speak a lot about, or they educate following their methods. And these are all research studied method that, that's how human move, the anatomy of our body.
Yeah. And again, coming back to the point that you brought earlier, is in often people have this single body part mentality. It's because we are confusing bodybuilding with fitness.
Right.
Bodybuilding can actually be an extreme sport where you don't actually become very healthy. If you take the sport to its extreme, they're dehydrated, they go so lean, they get cramps, they walk around. That's not a picture of health, but they are strong and they got muscle, right? So that's bodybuilding. You train differently. You and I watching this stream, we are busy people with family, with work and stuff. We're not bodybuilders. We train to have better life.
Right.
We train to improve our fitness. We train to improve our health. So you train very differently. So when you come here, we're not a bodybuilding place. I know some people who do bodybuilding. And if somebody comes here and say they want a bodybuilding program, we don't do it. We send them elsewhere. I don't think you would take a professional bodybuilder in your place as well. Although you could help them and completely change their life by doing all these other movements, but it's not what they want.
All right.
So two very different things. And I mentioned this also because there's a question here from Sumita. And this will be our last question before we have to wrap up, before Instagram cuts us off. This question is from Sumita. Does that mean I should be doing a full body workout, not one day upper body, then lower body next? You want to answer that first?
Yes, I think you could, Sumita, depending on how often you can consistently work out in a week. So if you can work out 3 times a week, I would suggest a full body would benefit you more, where you can do a full body on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, giving some days in between for perhaps another style of training like your cardio or stretching, or perhaps an active rest day. So full body is going to benefit you more because you activate everything. You kind of like kill all the bird in one stone, as compared to upper, lower. And take into consideration, we are living in like a very fast-paced world. We have other plans coming. Can you stick to your programs? Sometimes you can work out twice a week, once a week. Certain weeks you are more free, less busy. So a full body would generally benefit you better to begin with. Once you are more consistent, you are slightly more advanced, then you can have different variety: upper body, lower body, core focus, cardio focus, HIIT, interval training, Tabata. Those are all methods, but you want to build a very solid foundation first and then move into some advanced training method.
Yeah, Alvin answered it perfectly. I'll just say that do what you enjoy. If you still like your lower body day or upper body day, you can still do it, but be open to training total body. Be open to new styles of training. Be open to doing new things. Go try a yoga class if you've never done one. Go try a Pilates class if you've never done one.
Come to Daily Muscle. Try one of Noel classes.
Try my classes.
Yeah.
I make you lift heavy stuff. That's what we do. Great. So kind of just wrapping up, Alvin. So today we talked about resistance training, and the main topic of today was really, will resistance training cause you to gain weight? And really, if you notice, today's conversation really went down into more of the benefits of resistance training. So whether you gain weight or you don't gain weight, let's not forget the multiple benefits of resistance training far outweighs the fact that you're going to gain a little bit when you start your training.
And that gain is most likely muscle.
Muscle, which is a good thing. Right. Any last words, anything to wrap up before we are done for our Saturday afternoon show?
I think I love this. Thank you all so much on Instagram. I see it started off with 4 to 5. Now it's grown to 10 consistently. So you are currently watching 2 guys and their gym. And it's a weekly podcast. So this is episode 68. Yes, we've been here. Although this is our second episode being on a Saturday, we make a little time change. So if you are watching this live or pre-recording, let us know what you think of the time changes, or if you feel like we should go back on Monday, you feel that this is a good time, and let us know what you think of the show, because we are looking at new crowds here and we want to see how best we can add value to you. Is there anything specific you'd like us to talk about, to share more? Noel runs a group classes boutique gym in TTDI. I myself run a private personal training studio in Kajang. So we are coming together hopefully every week to add value to you, to help you to reach your fitness goal. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. If I could summarize one thing from today also, is that I love this quote from, it's actually a tagline from Equinox Gym, where the tagline said that it's not fitness, it's life.
Oh, nice.
Right? So sometimes we get so engrossed with bodybuilding, muscle group, gain weight. It's like, hey, it's not fitness, it's life. That's what you're really doing.
All right. So you come into the gym so that you can live better life. You can go out and live your life to the fullest. That's nice.
Yeah,
I think that's what we all are doing. That's our
that's
job.
what we're doing.
That's our
Yeah, we
job.
should make a t-shirt. It's not fitness, nice. Okay, great. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Emotion Fitness, for staying. You were here from the beginning. You gave us some comments. Darmin's here as well. Yes, that's right. Episode 68. Continue to stay in touch with us, whether you're watching a recording, a replay, or a cut out portion. Wherever you're watching this, comment below, because we're always reading comments. You still have a question, send us a question. We're happy to answer them. These episodes will keep going.
It will.
Keep going. There's so much more to talk about fitness and life and how this is going to improve what you do. With that being said, thank you once again for being here on a Saturday afternoon. Have a great rest of the day. If you're from Malaysia, is the whole of Malaysia off on Monday, or is it just KL?
Oh, it is.
Public
Everyone.
holiday on Monday. Take care, stay safe. It's a good day to go and sign up for a resistance training program at the gym. But yeah, just kidding. Okay, so take care, everybody. We'll see you soon. Bye bye.